We welcome you back to Sports Grid's 2025 Draft Special with the first blockbuster of night number one, round number one. The Jacksonville Jaguars trade up from the 5th overall spot to number 2 overall to select the reigning Heisman winner out of Colorado, Travis Hunter. So that first big move has happened. Hunter was a minus 2,400 favorite just moments before our opening round began. To go number 2 overall, that ticket still cashes, although it was the Jags drafting Hunter and not the Cleveland Browns as we originally thought. As we were discussing the early portion of this opening round, there was a thought that Cleveland was going to play Travis Hunter or on the offensive side of the ball. But Blue and Cap, now that Jacksonville has Travis Hunter in their organization, what does that mean where he plays in the National Football League?
Obviously, a new regime in Jacksonville, the youngest, really, head coach GM combination in the league. Liam Cohen, the head man on the sidelines for the Jags now. Trevor Lawrence is now several years into his career. He dealt with an injury last season, but they had an explosive wide receiver in Brian Thomas that they drafted a year ago out of LSU. Now they have Travis Hunter, who obviously can go both ways. Do you add to the explosive side on offense with Hunter and Thomas being utilized by Cohen and Trevor Lawrence?
All right, Mike, let's unpack this. First of all, and you're right, with Brian Thomas, who I could tell you from talking to the Jaguars, he was much better than they anticipated. Okay, he's really smart. He showed he could line up inside, but he's really an outside receiver. Remember now, they traded Christian Kirk in division to the Texans, but he was their slot receiver. Gabe Davis was hurt last season, okay? And he's on he's on their team because his contract's fully guaranteed, but he's going to be there. Now, if you look at the roster, and believe this or not, every team does have their own mock draft. And we also did our team needs. When other teams look at the Jaguars, they said, very weak at corner, it's a major need, right? Where does Travis Hunter play? What's his best position? Cornerback. However, they have a need for explosiveness opposite Brian Thomas. It's not a sure thing. He's playing receiver. I just want to make, now obviously the Jaguars, James Gladstone, the 33-year-old GM, is going to have to answer to this. Obviously, when they make a trade, and by the way, they've been talking to the Browns for a while. They just got this consummated. This got some buzz a couple hours ago, no question about it. But they know what they're going to do. And I'm telling you, this is the way it works with coaches. It will not be acceptable for him to go back-to-back, like, oh, he's going to be a receiver this week. He's going to be cornerback next week. It doesn't work like that. Coaches have to know who they're going to have every week.
Yeah, Ben, I think Cap nailed it there at the end, which is that they had a plan for the trade. They worked out the details all along, but they have an even bigger plan for Travis Hunter.